It's not what you think it is. Or is it? All right, guys, how do you like it? This is the new open to Snow Talk. You guys will have a chance to check it out as we get into Snow Talk season itself. Whoop, turn my mic down, sorry. As we get into Snow Talk season myself, we have a chance to check it out. But yeah, a little bit of a preview for you Bots fans, Rain on the Snow. You get a little bit of a first look at the new look there to Snow Talk. No, there is no snow in the forecast. There's no snow in the forecast. But the special announcement, which involves Snow Talk, I will get to, and I know you're going to be mad at me, but I will do it at the end. Why am I doing it at the end today? Because there are a lot of people that will be delayed in getting in here, and they will be upset if I miss this important point. So be patient. There's a lot to cover, and there's a lot of special treats involving snow coming up in the end portion of the vlog, so stay tuned. There's a few things I want to get to before we even get to that setup. All right, again, don't be angry with me. Good morning, everybody. Carrie, I think you were first today. Hold on, I gotta switch the weather back over. Yeah, get rid of that for right now. For now, let me get rid of that. Hello to Albert and Blues on. Hello, Angie. Angie, hang tight. We're going to get to that. ZK, good morning to Wavy. Yeah. Hello, Storm Chasers. And was Jason's in here? I think I saw him somewhere. Hello, Ann. Hello, Judy. Good morning, Cody. Hope all is well. Danny, I'm not putting your comment up, Danny. Not doing it. Hello, Angela. Good morning, Tim. Hi, Paul. Hope all is well. All right, so are you on? So let's get into the boring stuff of weather. Who cares about all this stuff? We'll get to it though. We'll cover it, and then we'll get into the long term. Fair enough. Good. All right. It is a beautiful day out, right? We've got temperatures running right now in the 50s. We've had a little bit of wind during the overnight. You may have heard the wind chimes. I did. They actually woke me up. Wind gust was over 25 miles per hour this morning, just enough to notice if you had anything outside that making noise. That probably got your attention. That was a warmer flow of air, the front moving by. Otherwise, you really didn't notice much of a difference, right? Didn't give us any rain. It's already in eastern Kentucky. You're like, hey, we had a front. Yeah. And it's just now trying to start up some showers there as you headed toward Ohio. But yeah, not for our area. It came through relatively quiet with a period of clouds and some gusty winds. But we're not done, because now we got the backlash of the low pressure itself that is now into areas of the Great Lakes. That is where our next surge of wind, it's going to be taking place today, higher in Illinois, higher into Indiana. And then we're on just on the southern edge of that wind field today. So there's no wind advisory because of that. We'll stay away from that drama, if you will, just because the idea that we'll be on the southern side. And I don't see right now a shower issue with any backlash, but we'll watch that this afternoon, especially for Indiana. I'm not going to rule it out. Looking at the wind alerts today, let me see if I can find them. I don't think we have anything in the Midwest, but I will double check here and see if we got any. All right, there's a few there into Iowa. So that gives you an idea that we're not expecting, a damaging wind scenario here, right? Or really even a power outage type of wind. We're not expecting that. But it will be gusty, and you will notice it as we evolve through this afternoon. And the wind will hold on tomorrow. I think you'll notice the wind more tomorrow because tomorrow it'll be colder. So the wind will matter more. Okay, so let's get into the Futurecast. I'll go through this fairly quick. Nice and easy going today. Again, with the backlash and the wind. kicking up as we head into this afternoon. Again, the highest wind on the edge of the cloudy and the clear. So that's the reason why it's Illinois and Indiana into Ohio. That's the zone that'll have the highest gusts right on the edge of that cloud shield. And the sunshine is we're going to get your stronger gust, and we'll be on the southern flank. Now, tonight, we'll get chilly, no doubt, but the wind will not exactly relax. You really need to get the wind speeds below 5 miles per hour to get any worry of frost in the area. Calm is obviously the perfect scenario, but you can still get frost and a very light wind because of sheltered areas from the wind. But tonight, the wind's going to be up enough that most areas are not going to have to worry about any frost, but it will add to a wind chill tonight. And tomorrow morning, wind chills could actually be in the 30s in some spots. So it is going to be a cold wind to start things off on a Wednesday. And we're not going to improve a whole lot. I mean, the thermometer will struggle through the 50s all day with still a gusty wind. So tomorrow, again, you're going to notice more of an impact. Today, we're going to get into these 60s, maybe even get close to 70 in some spots. But tomorrow, 10 degrees colder than that. All right. I'll see cooler, but it will feel colder because of the wind. There you go. That's the main story. We'll break down the speeds in just a second. Now, when it comes to the frost setup on Thursday, it's interesting. Several models are hinting at a batch of clouds that will roll through the area. If that happens, I don't think we're going to get frost. You got to have a clear sky. So I don't know how thin these clouds will be. I'm still working on that piece of data, but there are several high-res models that do indeed show a batch of clouds rolling in at the time when frost would form, and that may act as a bit of a shield and prevent us from worrying about issues. Look at Indianapolis. I mean, they're 34 degrees, but we'll be in the 40s because of the cloud cover. So we may get lucky here on Thursday. I think Friday morning likely will not. I think Friday morning the model doesn't go all the way out to that period, but Friday morning I'll show you the numbers on that, but it should be a colder setup, much greater potential for frost advisories and maybe even a freeze warning in our northeast or eastern sections. I wouldn't rule that out. Let's focus on the wind setup for today. We'll get to about 30 miles per hour. I think will be the higher end for most areas. There will be a few gusts that could go higher than that. That tends to happen in these scenarios, but they will not be frequent enough or, again, an advisory level or anything like that. They should stay below 40, but enough to mess your hair up today. And then tomorrow, it's the wind. Similar setup, maybe a tad lower on the speeds, but it's just going to steam a bit more with it not being very warm. So tomorrow you may have to have a jacket or a coat, actually, depending on your flavor, for a good chunk of the day tomorrow. So get the winter gear out. All right, for the frost potential as of now, it has really decreased. I think it's starting to see the cloud cover. It's still showing some 30s, don't get me wrong, especially some of the valleys. But I think this may trend upward if we continue to see more of a cloudier setup. I think that may eliminate some of this. So stay tuned. Update up there on that soon. But here we go with Friday morning. These numbers are trending downward to where a freeze is possible, a light freeze. I don't think it's going to be a killing freeze or hard freeze scenario, but the frost is likely to be a widespread frost, and that may be the killing frost that may end the growing season Friday morning for the area, which is a little bit behind schedule, actually, for this time of the year, about a week behind. In many spots, especially for Louisville even. So we'll see. We'll see how the numbers trend, but that's where we stand right now for the frost and freeze setup. Everyone good? Let me check on you all. Make sure you're all right. Rick, the Halloween rumors are going crazy already. Oh, Rick, we'll go through it. We'll go through it. I know they're going crazy. Kyle, what are we looking for? You guys don't even care about the short term, do you? You don't care. I could talk about day 14 to day 50, and I think you all will be happy. I'm teasing, of course, Kyle. Because I'm the same way. I totally understand. Cameron, I'm here as you said. I'm glad you're here, Cameron. It's going to be interesting. All right, everyone looks good. Into the growing season. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think it's going to be into the growing season by Friday for sure. That will take care of it. May not Thursday, but Friday, yeah. All right, so let's get into the longer term. This is what you guys wanted to talk about. Here we go. All right, so here's the deal. For the weekend, this low here has been varying a bit. It's always been a southern low. That's always been its theme, its personality, if you will. But it's been varying a bit on the models on its amount of moisture on the northern side as it kind of just drifts across I-10, I-20 there into the southern United States. So it's a very sloppy track, but it's one that can lead to two things. Light rain showers can certainly move in this weekend, but Dry air is going to be battling on the northern side, as we normally see in these systems, like we talk about a lot in the wintertime, right? Dry air on the northern side, kind of like the same thing with this. You don't get many low pressures to your south in the summer season, right? So we're to that time of the year now. We're starting to see that a little more. That's one of your first hints that winter is coming soon, when you start seeing this kind of a pattern. But anyway, this is a rain setup, but a cool rain. And with the rain falling into the drier air, that likely will create virga on the radar, which is rain that's lighting up on the radar, rain that's out there in the clouds above our head, but it doesn't fall below the tree line. So you may not get drops to the ground. That actually is an evaporation process, so that cools the air. So we've knocked the highs down a bit for the weekend. Accounting for that, we have to go lower. It may be a 50s type of weekend for us versus 60s because of the virga in the area, but some of that may actually try to reach the ground more on Sunday than Saturday. That still is fair of a rain chance. And Sunday, I wouldn't rule that out. This run of the Euro, there's the Saturday. And then on Sunday, again, it's not too impressed with Kentucky. The GFS has much more rain showing up here on Sunday than the Euro does. So they're still struggling on the amount of moisture this little guy is going to have. But it's a minor system. All right, it's going to scoot across the southern United States and move on by. Here comes the next one. This is the one I think everyone has been hyping about, and that is Halloween. All right, so this one will roll on out. Now, this will have fronts with it initially, and when you have a cold front, warm front scenario, you can still get strong thunderstorms on it. Once the low occludes, which is where the low begins to wrap up, you lose. You know, normally we have that comma shape, and we have the fronts drawn like this. Here's your warm front up here, your cold front here, and your low pressure right there at the triple point with the big red L right there, right? That's normal. When you have a low pressure occlude, the cold front swings up and combines and connects to the warm front to where there is no warm sector anymore. You lose that little American flag box area that I always draw. You lose that, and you end up with just a bowling ball, a low pressure. And the low is going to be in that transition phase as it evolves throughout Halloween week. So I think the danger of the low is only when it has the fronts, when it starts to move into the plains. That's where you may get some thunderstorms. I don't think it's going to be anything too wild right now compared to what I saw last week, but this particular low, but I do think it'll have some thunderstorm with it. It drives it down to the south. It dips down way in our southern part of the counties. This is what the Euro has, which is different on different models. The GFS, this is very annoying. The GFS has a little more up here and a little bit more of a band of rain, maybe some thunderstorms with that. The wind fields are pretty strong, but the GFS was here yesterday with it. The Euro yesterday was up here. Now it's down here. They flipped places. So there's a lot of questions on how this low is going to evolve because the Atlantic is blocked. All right. So that's the problem here. It's a traffic jam that is forming of low pressures. We've had several. They've been rolling on by, including the one today. So that creates just a congested mess here east of the United States. So because of that, and whatever happens with Melissa too. Remember, Melissa's like to become a tropical storm today and get officially named Melissa. Oh, traffic alert. There's Wavy. Where's it at? I-71 at the Snyder in Jefferson County. Looks like it's off to the side, though, on that camera image. So there you go, Wavy alert. The Atlantic is closed. We don't know what Melissa will do as far as injecting a dynamic into this pattern that the models have not grasped yet. So be aware of that. And I think that's why we're still seeing a lot of flips with these low pressures that are just drifting around lower 48, is that we don't know yet how the tropics will evolve and how the Atlantic is going to play out. So I think this is far from done. This needs more time in the oven, as I like to say. So the Halloween week forecast is probably going to change a few times until we get a better handle on the low and where it's at. But it's no doubt a player for Halloween because depending on how this evolves, like the Euro suggests, we will still be on the western side of it as we head into Halloween. And yes, it would mean some light rain Halloween day and evening. And temperatures right now, I would say trick-or-treat time. If you go by the Euro, 50s, which is fair. But obviously, it just depends on where the low is. But I think 50s is where we're going at right now for a Halloween outlook. And it's 10 days away. Got plenty of time. But anyway, this is going to be a thorn in our side as it moves on by. What you don't see, and I'll give you guys a little nugget. Are you ready? What you don't see is that as the low moves on by, we have a deepening effect into areas of eastern Canada. And boy, it for the first time, the Euro has a rain-snow mix for our area Halloween weekend. So the first few days, a couple of days of November. I will caution you, though, if you look at the snow accumulation forecast, you may see some, but there is zero snow depth, which is very common in snows this early. It's tough for them to stick. So I think it may be more of a sleet mixture, rain and sleet or rain and graupel. Could be a rain-snow mix. I don't know. It's too far out. It's beyond even the range I can show you. But it has been showing up for a while. It's early November. You guys have, I think, are aware that potential is there as we flip into the new month. Something has been showing up for a while, and I think this may be a teaser for it. But at least for the first time, I've seen the Euro indicate a rain-snow mix. Pretty exciting. So yeah, I may have to use the Snow Talk open before we even get to. Normally, I'll start running it after the winter forecast comes out. So the 1st or 2nd or so of November, whatever it falls on, I tend to roll Snow Talk, and that's the title and the open and all the graphics you see behind me for the rest of the season, unless there's severe weather, thunderstorms. But I may have to run it early. There's only 2 times, I think, since I've been at Wave that I've had to do that. But I'm not ready to do it yet. Not ready to do it yet. So hang tight. We'll see how it trends. I will give you another nugget. There's the snow map. Actually, hold on. I'm going to flip that right now. I'm not going to show you that. Hold on, Cameron. Hold on, Cameron. We'll get back to that. Cameron's like, I'm going to screenshot that. Hold on. The long-term outlook did come out, and this is the trend overall for the first part. Anyway, we'll go with the first part of November. This is that weekend that will feature maybe that rain snow mix. This is the ensemble's outlook showing a colder setup for Halloween weekend. Okay, now let's get to the matrix. Sorry, Cameron. All right, we'll go full on this. Hold on. Still about the same. I forgot to put the markers on here for the month periods, but this is looking at, this is about mid-November right through here. If my pen will draw, hold on, give it a second. It's kind of acting weird. Right through here is mid-November, and this is Thanksgiving right here. I don't know why my pen is not. There you go. That's Thanksgiving that is showing up. So yeah, we're getting a stronger signal for mid to late November compared to early November. There are a few that are early November for that particular weekend there. A couple hints, but no doubt the stronger signal, which indicates that Thanksgiving, we had snow last year for Thanksgiving, but it indicates the signal for Thanksgiving is growing. This is important. This is important for what I'm about to say. Type 3 if you guys are ready for the announcement. Type 3 if you're ready. And then I'll get to some of your questions on all the weather. So hang tight on that. But before I do that, I got to get everything set. We got to fit the mood, right? We got to fit the mood here. So hang on. Ooh la la. All right, that's better. All right, so there we go. Any threes? Do I have any threes? I don't see any threes. I don't see any threes. Hello. I was going to say hello, Daddy, but that's going to sound weird. Hello, Bone. 3 if you're ready. All right, thank you, Bone. Some of your names are a trap. I got to watch you all. Miss Zombie Turtle on Twitch. Got a 3. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. All right. Quite a few threes. I get it. All right. Calm down. You guys are getting aggressive. All right. So here's the announcement. Got a special treat for you all as we get into starting today. Actually, we are going to be launching a snow guess contest for you all that are the faithful bots fans, especially. This contest is going to start today. It will end on Halloween. What I am asking of you all, and we'll have all the details on TV, on social, and on the website. I will give all that out. But right now, this is a choppy, just getting an announcement out. You guys are the first to hear this before we even mention it on TV. You guys have a chance to guess the first snowfall of the season, 1-inch snowfall, by the date and, as a tiebreaker, by the amount to the nearest half inch at Louisville Ali International Airport. So it has to be in Louisville, and it has to be 1 inch or more that is actually measured. It can still melt later that day. but at least at one point in the day, it has to be measured at 1 inch. Now, a water equivalent of snow. All right, don't get all technical here. So make sure you understand that. If you win the Snow Guest contest, you will get a VIP tour here of the Wave Studios, of all of our different studios we have. You'll have a chance to watch our newscast with us and take part. You'll be in the control room. You'll have a chance to be in the weather garden. You'll have a chance to be here in the blog studio and in the newscast main studio. In addition, you will be named our snow ambassador for the season. And you're like, what does that mean? Well, as a snow ambassador, we will be checking in with you several times throughout the season for future snow events, and you will be live with us either on the blog if we're able to do that. Otherwise, we may have to just take in your videos or just your photos, whatever you're able to do. But you have to have, and that's important for this, you got to have a social media account here. We got to be able to communicate and do videos and go live. You got to understand how all that works. So that's an important thing. All right. So kind of consider that. It's 1 entry per household here, guys, and you've got to be 18 or older. Sorry, got to be 18 or older, 1 per household. Are you ready? All right. Here's the code to scan. Use your phone right now. Get your guesses in. Just take your camera itself, the camera function on your phone, hold it up to your QR code. It should pop in automatically and fill it all out. You got today all the way through noon on Halloween. Noon on Halloween day, we will stop the setup. And I will review all the guesses at that point, and we'll get into it. Good luck. We are doing the same thing, but we're not going to win anything. But we're on the team. We're getting our guesses worked out now. We'll have ours ready to go by the time the winter forecast comes out. Carson got it last year with July 4th, or July, January 4th. So I think he missed about, 2 days? Maybe 1 day, something like that. It was pretty close. You guys excited? Yeah, it sounds fun. The fans need that. They do need that. Yeah. Pretty fun. Thanks, Edward. Appreciate that. All right. So get your guesses in. And again, to the nearest, and the rules are on there. And when you select your amount, you will see that it's on here listed as half-inch increments. All right. Kelly, you're on your phone. But do you have the way to get to a desktop? You should be able to load it up still on your phone and fill it out. Kelly, if you have any problems, let me know. We should be able to. If not, you have to get to a desktop to get it all filled out. Make sure the page loads up. But you'll have half-inch increments to choose from. All right, so select your amount in case there is a tie. The date will matter first of the 1 inch plus amount. And then secondly, if someone else chose the same date as you did, then whoever got the closer amount will win. All right, so I know I'm going to be throwing you all off with this November, snow chance that's coming up. But is it, is that going to be sneaky? Is that really going to throw you guys off there? All right. I hope you guys are good on that. I'll answer your questions. If you have any, send me an email. Let me show you the 10-day while we're talking here. If you have any questions on that, let me know. Otherwise, I think everyone's good. If you have any problems or anything like that, we'll let us know as well. My guess is whatever Carson says. There you go, Weather Geek. That's a good way to look at it. I don't think I have Carson's guess yet. So for this year, I think he's still working on it. Cameron, can we do a first place? Second? We'll see how many tie for that day, Cameron. But right now, we're going for 1. We're going for 1. But remember how winter it can be around here. It can be delayed sometimes, right? So, you may get lucky. Plan carefully. Plan carefully. You only get 1 guess, all right? So, don't get too excited and pick a date out. Think carefully on this. And I don't want to influence you too much, all right, with the updates every day. But, you are going to still get weather updates all the way through Halloween, right? So you have some time. But I'm hoping that I don't give too much away for November there. And it may be a false signal, maybe not accurate. Sometimes these signals are delayed more than what you see. I know I'm playing devil's advocate on this. All right, let me show you the 10-day, and I'll end this. 60s again today. Tomorrow it's going to be a little tough to get to 60s because of the colder setup, but it will be a blustery day tomorrow. And then we'll watch for the killing frost and freeze scenario for Friday morning. The weekend, again, looks cloudy and cool. Could be wet, depending on how much rain makes it to the ground. and a better chance to get rain or even some thunder. I'm not going to rule it out for early next week, but the signal's too wild right now to get really specific on this. So we can't go very high on these rain chances yet, but they're going to have a spike at some point of 100%. I think it's going to go up dramatically early next week. We just can't figure out the timing yet because the low's just lost. It's all over the place. So there you go, guys. I appreciate it. You guys are, hope you have fun with this. Have fun with the contest, and we'll talk about it again coming up in the coming days. All right. Have a good one. I will see you guys coming up at 11 a.m. coming up on midday. All right. See you then on the flip side.